Welcome to My Lines, brought to you by Colin Boynton. Welcome to the latest episode of my poetry podcasts. This week's episode of My Lines is based on the theme of memories. The first poem I've chosen this week is in 7 parts and called It Must Have Been. Monday. It must have been a Monday. I remember it quite clear. The sun was shining brightly and summertime was here. Washing laid in separate piles all across the floor, whites in one pile, colours next, work clothes near the door. Pile by pile and load by load, the washing soon was done, hung out on the washing line to dry out in the sun. A gentle breeze would blow round, stirring what was hung, helping speed the drying of the items in the sun. Everything then was removed as it became quite dry, taken back into the house. The pile soon grew quite high. Clothes that needed pressing were kept out separately, ready to be ironed when the time was free. The rest was folded neatly and quickly put away. Washing day was over until another day. Tuesday. It must have been a Tuesday. The ironing board was out, and clothes that needed pressing were still laid all about. The iron stood upon the board, its temperature soon rose. Heat was coming from it as it ironed all those clothes. Very quickly, piece by piece, everything was done, pressed and folded neatly, items one by one. Then placed in cupboards or in drawers, the clothes were put away. The iron left to stand and cool until another day. The ironing board was folded up and stored behind the door, the washing basket empty, put on the bathroom floor, ready to be filled again with clothes both old and new. All of it now dirty, needed washing too. Wednesday. It must have been a Wednesday, of that I am quite clear. The noise of someone hoovering was sounding in my ear. Scraping of the furniture pushed across the floor to clean away the dust and fluff that gathered there once more. Things were lifted down from shelves, polish sprayed around. The duster rubbed quite frantically, without a single sound. Everywhere soon sparkled, smelling fresh and clean. Even all the woodwork took on a brand new sheen. With water in a bucket, a cloth within one hand, to clean the windows outside and make them look quite grand. A housewife's work was never done, it just went on and on, for as one job was finished, another had begun. Thursday. It must have been a Thursday, I can't remember why. Did something special happen, or did it just pass by? I have no explanation, it's how it seemed to be. Nothing special happened, the day passed by carefree. It wasn't like the other days when things had to be done. You pleased yourself on Thursdays, those days are now long gone. Friday. It must have been a Friday, I remember it quite well. Pies and cakes were baking, what a lovely smell. I was spent preparing, ingredients all laid there, mixing bowls, utensils, no room was left to spare. The oven turned on early, ready for the day, different sweet and savouries, laid all out on a tray. Each tray that was full of food was quickly placed within, and once it finished baking was taken from its tin. Laid upon a cooling rack, cooling piece by piece, the baking went on through the day, it never seemed to cease. Cakes and jam tarts, new baked bread, different kinds of pies, a whole week's worth of baking before our very eyes. Saturday. It must have been a Saturday, of that I am quite sure, as mother went out shopping at a local store. Groceries for buying, fruit and veg and meat, sometimes bought from market stalls standing in the street. Carried home in shopping bags, it must have weighed a lot. We watched with eyes wide open to see what had been bought. Box by box and bag by bag, things were stored away. A whole week's worth of groceries bought on shopping day. Sunday. It must have been a Sunday, supposed to be the best. The last day of a busy week should be a day of rest. But somehow this was never so, with plenty to be done. Sunday lunch spent cooking for each and every one. And if the day was sunny, warm and very bright, a picnic tea down by the sea would end the day just right. No time of rest for anyone to sit around and laze. There still was lots of things to do, even on Sundays. It must have been a weekday, or was it one weekend? I cannot quite remember how my memories should end. The final 3 poems based on memories and called Memories Are Made of This. 1. Fluffy white clouds went floating by, familiar shapes in a lovely blue sky. One was a duck, one was a boat, one even looked like an old overcoat. Then running on down to play by the stream, those long sunny days now seem like a dream. Trees that look greener we'd climb every day, fields that we'd run through while farmers made hay. Laughing out loud, having such fun. It seems to me now those days are long gone. Cold winter days with ice and with snow. Dark winter evenings, where did they go? Making a snowman and making a slide, playing outdoors, never inside. We may have got wet and shivered with cold, but we always seemed happy in those days of old. Go-karts were made from old wheels and wood, racing each other as fast as we could. Games that we played like hopscotch or tag, or even some fun from an old straw-filled bag. We hadn't computers or video games, yet we filled our days with fun just the same. We didn't need TV to keep us amused, we just made our fun from the things that we used. Cardboard and bottles, all kinds of strings, we just made our fun from these kind of things. Tree houses made from bits of old wood, dams built on streams until they would flood. Hunting for fossils, picking wild flowers. Things such as this kept us happy for hours. Going for walks with mothers and friends, days like these never had ends. Young and innocent, happiness, bliss. Whatever happened to things like this? Making a swing from a branch on a tree, sharing our sweets, one for you, one for me. We didn't have worries in days filled with fun. Those were the days before life had begun. I'd rather go back to those days of before. Life getting older can be such a bore. We have to be sensible, quiet and calm. No acting fools, it might cause us harm. Our childhood days are things we now miss, but remember our memories are made of this. 2. As we grow older, some things we forget, like friends that we played with or people we met. Then suddenly one day, out of the blue, a sound or a smell returns them to you. Monday was washing, Friday was fish, also for baking, these things I miss. Sunday was lunch, a family affair, roast beef and puds with everyone there. It seems to be now that as we move on, family traditions are now long gone. Out gathering firewood, chopping up sticks, bringing in coal, a fire we'd fix. At the end of the evening, the fire was low, toast would be done on embers that glow. Sunday evenings, the radio on, sing something simple, sang favourite songs. Friday evenings was bingo or whist, down in the village hall nobody missed. Thursdays was youth club with everyone there, no argue or fighting, we knew how to share. And then there was summer, a barn was cleaned out, a dance would be held, a caller would shout, "Take your partners, dozy-do." The dance began, off we'd go. Whirling around, moving on, changing partners one by one. We'd sit upon bales round the side of the barn, listening to old folks spinning a yarn. Those were the people we saw every day. They'd been there forever, they're still there today. But when I go back, I find some are gone, dear old friends who have now passed on. And where is the bogeyman, where did he go? It made us behave, in case he would show. Where are the gypsies, with pegs and with heather, telling our fortunes in all kinds of weather? A garden party, village fete, someone's at the garden gate. They're bringing me back a sweet memory of happy times that used to be. They're bringing me news of someone I miss, reminding me memories are made of this. 3. Patty cake, baker's man, and rhymes such as this told by dear old Gran. Whilst grandfather sat, he rocked in his chair, the smell of pipe smoke filling the air. Grandma drank milkmaid or double D stout, always at home she never drank out. We'd go to the seaside and play on the beach, or go for a paddle, but first they would preach. Take care as you paddle, don't go too deep. Then over the waves we all would leap, holding hands and splashing about. Grandma and Grandad and us would all shout. Going back home we'd travel by bus. Sitting upstairs was a treat just for us. When we were with them we had so much fun. A tear fills my eye when I think they're now gone. With summer soon over, autumn was here. We went to get blackberries every year. And into an orchard we all would sneak to go pinching apples every week. Sometimes we got caught or maybe just seen, but still we went back again and again. Peas from the pod tasted the best, pinched from the garden of old Mr. S. We never meant harm by doing these things. It didn't cause pain that violence brings. Sometimes we were good and old folks we'd meet to say an hello and be given a sweet. Fireman's laces, gobstoppers too, and aniseed centre once you'd suck through. Lots of loose sweets that you bought by the pound, lined them in jars at the sweet shop you found. Those were the days of long ago. The village shop goods were all on show. A chair by the counter where people could sit, chatting for hours or just for a bit. We didn't have superstores way out of town, but sometimes the grocer van would come around. The baker with bread came, a veggie van too. You didn't go shopping, it came to you. It's all of these things and much more that we miss. So remember, our memories are made of this. I hope you've enjoyed my stroll down my memory lane with me today. The poems I chose this week have been taken from my books Storyteller and My Lines. All my books are available either from myself or direct from my publishers. For more details, see my website www.collinscorner.co.uk. Thank you for joining me today. Hope you'll join me next week for another episode of My Lines.